In this blink, we will learn what the Goldilocks principle has to do with student motivation. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Goldilocks. She went by herself for a stroll in the forest, which I questioned why her parents let her do this, but that's beside the point. Inevitably, she stumbles upon a vacant house, which of course is unlocked, and as equally unsafe, she decides to go on in. As would any 6-year-old who finds themselves alone in a bear's home in the middle of a forest, she decides to test out the food and furniture. She quickly discovers while some are too hot, too cold, too hard, too soft, too big, too small, she determines what is just right. What does this fictitious girl tasting bear porridge have to do with learning and student motivation? In educational research, instead of not too hard or too easy, the just right conditions for learning are not too hard, not too boring. In a 2017 study by Lomas, he found that students were motivated to work through highly challenging tasks if they were seen as worthwhile and engaging. The idea of doing their personal best and creating goals accordingly resonates in the data. Raising the bar bit by bit and challenging learners to perform at their personal best is called the 1+ strategy. You might be familiar with the popular video game Angry Birds that works on this philosophy. In the game, your last level is noted and new goals or challenges are set accordingly. There is built-in practice, feedback, and collaborating with others to reach your new personal best and to reach your new challenge level. This is in contrast to the idea of turn in your work and that learning is finished. In 10 Mind Frames for Visible Learning, John Hattie and Klaus Zier explain that the Goldilocks principle shows that when students have appropriately challenging goals, know what success looks like to reach their personal best, and are engaged in the learning, student achievement follows. In his book, Atomic Habits, James Clear relates the Goldilocks principle to adult learning too. He argues that the human brain thrives in the optimal zone of difficulty. He relates this to a tennis match. If you decide to play a tennis match against a 5-year-old, you're likely going to get bored. Likewise, if you decide to play against Venus Williams, you will likely become unmotivated because it is too challenging of a task. He used this illustration to exemplify the Goldilocks rule or principle. As you can see, in the middle, the mountain that is the just right difficulty is the one that the individual was able to climb. Not too easy, not too challenging, just right. This week, as you are meeting with students, planning instruction, or perhaps working on a wellness goal for yourself and setting a personal goal, consider the Goldilocks rule. How can your students set appropriately challenging goals that are not too hard and not too easy? What kind of feedback can you provide along the way to keep them motivated? How might you plan instruction that falls into the not too boring category? Maybe Goldilocks discovered more than a just right bed to sleep in after all. Have a wonderful week.
Street lights